Ah, welcome back, you beautiful architects of revenge, you silent strategists, you patient executioners of karma. 5 years, wasn't it? 5 long years they counted as their victory, their triumph, their proof that they broke you. 1,825 days they celebrated your silence, your absence, your supposed defeat, while sipping their cheap wine and toasting to the monster they thought they buried. But here's what they didn't know, what they couldn't see, what their small minds couldn't comprehend. You weren't defeated. You were preparing. You weren't broken. You were sharpening. You weren't hiding. And oh, the meal you prepared over those 5 years. It's finally ready to be served, and they're about to choke on every single bite. Let me paint you a picture they never wanted to see, a truth they spent 5 years running from. While they were out there celebrating, posting their fake victories, building their fragile little kingdoms on foundations of lies, you were in the shadows doing something far more sinister. You were studying them, learning their patterns, memorizing their weaknesses, cataloging their fears like a hunter studying prey before the perfect strike. They thought your silence meant surrender, but it was actually reconnaissance. They thought your distance meant defeat, but it was strategic positioning. They thought your stillness meant death, but you were simply holding your breath before the plunge. And now the water's about to get very, very red. See, they made a critical mistake. The kind of mistake that ends empires, that topples kings, that rewrites entire histories. They assumed your absence meant they won, that your quiet meant you quit, that your patience meant you forgave. But you understood something they never could grasp in their desperate, mediocre little minds. Revenge isn't a dish served hot. It's not served cold either. It's served at exactly the right temperature after exactly the right amount of time. And 5 years was the perfect marinating period for the psychological demolition you've been engineering in absolute silence while they danced on what they thought was your grave. Here's what really happened during those 5 years. While they were busy forgetting you, you were busy becoming unforgettable. While they were building their reputation on quicksand, you were constructing your fortress on bedrock. While they were collecting hollow victories and empty applause, you were accumulating real power, real knowledge, real transformation. They aged 5 years and got softer, weaker, more comfortable in their delusions. You spent 5 years becoming sharper, harder, more dangerous than they could possibly imagine. The gap between who you were and who you've become. It's a chasm they'll never cross, a distance they'll never comprehend, a transformation they'll never replicate. And now they're starting to feel it, aren't they? That subtle shift in the atmosphere, that uncomfortable tingle at the back of their neck, that inexplicable dread that wakes them up at 3 in the morning. They don't know why yet. They can't put their finger on it. But somewhere deep in their lizard brain, in that primitive part of consciousness that recognizes predators, they sense it. Something changed. Something moved in the darkness. Something they thought was dead just opened its eyes. And when they finally realize what's happening, when they finally understand that their 5-year celebration was actually your 5-year preparation, the look on their faces That's going to be the appetizer before the main course. You want to know what real power looks like? It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't require an audience. Real power operates in silence, moves in shadows, builds in the dark until the structure is so massive that when the lights turn on, everyone's already standing inside it, wondering how the walls appeared overnight. That's what you've been doing for 5 years, constructing an empire of psychological advantage while they were busy posting selfies and collecting likes like starving birds fighting over crumbs. They were playing checkers on their phones. You were playing chess in dimensions they don't even know exist. Let's talk about what you really did during those 5 years, because this is where it gets beautiful, where the artistry of your patience reveals itself like a masterpiece. Every day, they thought you were defeated. You were actually taking notes on their behavior, their patterns, their weaknesses, their fears. You turned your pain into research, your isolation into observation, your silence into the most powerful weapon they never saw coming. While they were comfortable, you were studying comfort as a vulnerability. While they were confident, you were mapping confidence as a blind spot. While they were celebrating, you were recording every laugh for future reference. Here's what they don't teach you in their sanitized little self-help books, in their positive thinking seminars, in their forgive and forget workshops. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Just watch, just wait, just let them think they won while you're actually setting up the board for a game they don't even know they're playing yet. You didn't react when they expected reaction. You didn't break when they pushed for breaking. You didn't fight when they wanted to fight. Instead, you did something far more terrifying. You smiled. You vanished. You let them believe their own lies while you were busy making their nightmares come true in slow motion. Every person who wronged you, every fake friend who betrayed you, every coward who abandoned you when things got hard. They all thought they got away with it, didn't they? They thought the statute of limitations expired, that time healed their crimes, that your silence meant their sins were forgiven. Wrong. So beautifully, perfectly wrong. You weren't forgiving. You were filing. You weren't forgetting. You were recording. You weren't moving on. You were moving up to a vantage point where you could see the entire battlefield and plan your strikes with surgical precision. They were living their lives thinking they escaped consequences, never realizing you were turning those 5 years into their life sentence. The beauty of your strategy, the pure genius of it, is that you weaponized time itself against them. While they got comfortable in their mediocrity, while they settled into their routines, while they built their lives on the foundation of lies they told about you, you were letting that foundation crack naturally. Inevitably, you didn't need to push. You didn't need to attack. You just needed to wait for gravity to do what gravity does best. And now, 5 years later, their entire world is starting to tilt, to shake, to crumble. And they can't figure out why, because they forgot the most important rule. You don't build anything lasting on lies, especially lies about someone who's been watching, waiting, and preparing to remind you of the truth. Let's get into the real science of what you pulled off here, because this is where amateurs separate from masters, where revenge becomes art, where destruction becomes poetry. Psychological warfare isn't about yelling or fighting or making scenes. That's amateur hour. That's what they expected. That's what they prepared for. No. Real psychological warfare is about making someone question their own reality, making them doubt their own memories, making them wake up every day wondering if they're actually as secure as they think they are. And you've been conducting a masterclass in this for 5 straight years without them even knowing they were the students. Think about what you did to them mentally without ever saying a word. Your silence, your absence, your complete lack of reaction to their provocations. It drove them crazy in ways they'll never admit. They needed you to care. They needed you to be bothered. They needed you to give them the satisfaction of knowing they affected you. But you gave them nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that nothing ate away at them like acid dripping on stone. They kept checking, kept looking, kept searching for signs that you were hurt, that you were suffering, that their victory was real. And every time they found nothing, every time you remained unreachable, a little piece of their certainty died. Here's the part that makes your strategy brilliant beyond measure. While they were looking for you to be broken, you were actually rebuilding yourself into something they couldn't recognize, couldn't categorize, couldn't comprehend. You weren't healing the old you. You were engineering an entirely new version, a model they have no manual for, no defense against, no way to predict. They were expecting the person they hurt to come back. Maybe angry, maybe sad, maybe desperate for closure. Instead, what's emerging from those 5 years is something else entirely. Something that doesn't play by their rules, doesn't speak their language, doesn't even acknowledge their reality as valid anymore. The psychological damage you've inflicted without lifting a finger, without sending a single message, without making a single move. It's already catastrophic and they don't even know it yet. See, the human mind needs closure, needs resolution, needs to know that its actions had the intended effect. By denying them that, by refusing to give them the reaction they craved, you created an open loop in their consciousness that's been running for 5 years, draining their mental resources, creating background anxiety, making them question everything. They can't close the chapter on you because you never gave them the ending they needed. They're stuck in a story where the main character disappeared and they'll never know if the monster they thought they killed is actually dead or just waiting. And here's where it gets truly sinister, truly beautiful. Every year that passed, every month you remained silent. Every day you didn't collapse like they predicted. It added weight to their unspoken fear. What if we didn't win? What if they're planning something? What if our victory was just the intermission and the real show hasn't started yet? Those questions, those doubts, those fears, they've been compounding in their minds like interest on a debt they don't even know they owe yet. And now, after 5 years of accumulation, that debt is about to come due with interest rates they never calculated. You didn't destroy them quickly. You didn't destroy them loudly. You destroyed them slowly, silently, so thoroughly that by the time they realize what happened, there won't be anything left to save. Now, let's talk about what those 5 years did to you. The real transformation, the evolution they couldn't see, couldn't stop, couldn't prevent. While they were busy celebrating their hollow victory, you were in your own private laboratory conducting experiments on yourself, breaking yourself down to base components and rebuilding from scratch. Every tear you cried in private, every night you spent alone, every moment of pain they caused you, you didn't waste a single one. You converted every emotion into fuel, every betrayal into lesson, every wound into armor. They thought they broke you, but they actually just removed everything that was holding you back from becoming this. The person they hurt 5 years ago, that version of you, consider them dead, buried, gone forever. But here's the thing about destruction, about being torn apart, about being reduced to nothing. When you rebuild from absolute zero, you get to choose every single piece that goes back in. You get to decide what stays, what goes, what gets upgraded, what gets weaponized. And you didn't rebuild a person. You engineered a force, a phenomenon, a walking psychological event that rewrites reality just by existing in a space. The old you had weaknesses they could exploit, emotions they could manipulate, hopes they could crush. This version, this thing you've become, it has none of those vulnerabilities because you burned them all out like tumors. Let me break down the anatomy of your transformation because this is where the poetry meets the science. Year 1, you were in survival mode, just trying to process what happened, trying to understand how people you trusted could betray you so completely. That was your research phase, your data collection phase, where every emotion was documented, every pattern was noted, every lesson was recorded. Year 2, you were in analysis mode, taking all that data and starting to see the bigger picture, the systems, the psychology, the predictable nature of human weakness. That was your strategic planning phase, where you started to map out not revenge, but evolution. Year 3, you were in reconstruction mode, actively building the new version, testing theories, experimenting with different approaches, discovering what worked and what didn't. That was your prototype phase where you started to feel the power building. Year 4, you were in refinement mode, taking everything you learned and polishing it, sharpening it, making it precise, making it deadly. That was your beta testing phase, where you started to interact with the world as your new self and saw how reality bent around you differently now. And Year 5 was your launch preparation, the final calibrations, the last adjustments, the moment before deployment where you stood back and looked at what you built and smiled because you knew, you absolutely knew, that what they were about to experience was going to rewrite their understanding of consequences. 5 years, 5 stages, 5 levels of transformation that turned victim into something they don't have words for yet. And here's what makes your transformation so terrifying to anyone who actually understands what happened. You didn't change to please anyone. You didn't evolve to fit in. You didn't grow to be acceptable. You transformed specifically to be incomprehensible to the people who hurt you, to operate on frequencies they can't detect, to think in patterns they can't follow, to exist in ways they can't counter. You're not playing their game anymore. You're not even on their board. You created an entirely new game with entirely new rules, and they don't even know they're already losing because they're still trying to play chess while you're out here warping reality itself. The transformation isn't complete yet. It's ongoing. It's accelerating. And every day you're becoming more of something they'll spend the rest of their lives trying to explain to therapists who won't believe them. And now we arrive at the moment they never thought would come. The moment you've been preparing for with the patience of centuries compressed into 5 years. Dinner's ready, the table's set, and every single person who celebrated your downfall is about to be served a meal they'll never forget, never digest, never recover from. But here's the beauty of your approach. The absolute artistic perfection of it. You're not going to attack. You're not going to fight. You're not going to do anything aggressive or obvious. You're simply going to exist, to be, to show up as the thing you've become, and watch them crumble under the weight of their own guilt and fear. The first bite of their karma meal is recognition. They're going to see you, the new you, the evolved you, the transformed you, and something's going to break in their brain. They're going to try to reconcile the person they thought they destroyed with the force standing in front of them. And the math won't work, the equation won't balance, the reality won't compute. That moment of cognitive dissonance, that split second where their mind shorts out trying to process the impossible, that's going to hurt them in ways physical violence never could. Because in that moment, they'll realize they didn't win, they didn't beat you, they didn't break you. They just gave you 5 years of uninterrupted time to become their worst nightmare. The second bite is regret. Deep, crushing, suffocating regret that's going to sit on their chest like a stone every single night for the rest of their lives. They're going to replay every moment, every choice, every word, every betrayal. And they're going to see it differently now. What looked like victory then is going to look like the biggest mistake of their lives now. What felt like power then is going to taste like poison now. They're going to wish, desperately wish, that they could go back and make different choices, treat you differently, see your value before it was too late. But time, beautiful, merciless time, doesn't run backward. And the you they could have had beside them is dead, replaced by the you they'll never reach again. The third bite is fear. Primal, instinctive fear that comes from realizing you're in the presence of something operating on a level you can't comprehend. They're going to watch you move through the world, watch you handle situations, watch you interact with people, and they're going to see the difference. The ease, the confidence, the unshakable presence. The way reality seems to bend slightly around you now, and they're going to know deep in their gut that whatever you've become in those 5 years, it's so far beyond them that comparison becomes meaningless. They're going to fear what you might do, but more than that, they're going to fear what you don't need to do because your mere existence is already reshaping their world. The fourth bite is loss. Profound, irreversible loss. They're going to realize what they gave up, what they threw away, what they destroyed when they decided you were expendable. They had access to something rare, something real, something powerful, and they treated it like garbage because they were too blind, too stupid, too small to recognize value when it was standing right in front of them. And now they're going to spend years watching that value from a distance, watching you thrive without them, watching you build empires they'll never enter, watching you become legendary while they remain ordinary. The loss isn't just losing you, it's losing the possibility of who they could have become with you beside them instead of against them. And the final bite, the one that's going to stick in their throat forever, is irrelevance. They're going to discover that you don't think about them anymore, don't care about them anymore, don't even register their existence as significant enough to warrant attention. They spent 5 years thinking about you, talking about you, defining themselves by their victory over you. And you spent 5 years forgetting they even existed while building something so magnificent that they're not even background noise in your story anymore. They wanted to matter, wanted to be important, wanted to be the villain in your hero story. Instead, they're not even a footnote. They're not even a mention. They're just obstacles you stepped over on your way to somewhere they'll never reach. And that irrelevance is going to eat them alive more than any revenge ever could.